What happens when you spend 10 days meditating in a complete silence, surrounded by monks in the mountains of India? This is the 10th retreat day that I took, and it was honestly one of the most amazing experiences I did in my life. And it was actually truly mind-changing. But before I dive into all of that, let's come back in the past. Just before I start this course, I was a little bit nervous about it. You're gonna see why. So this is the day. I'm going in like 3 hours now to the Tushita meditation centers. I'm actually doing my bag. So here are all my clothes that I'm gonna take with me. And here it's my audiovisual bag. My camera gonna be here, my computer as well, and the most important, my phone. I start to stress a little bit about that actually. All the meditations and Buddhism and I'm very excited about it because it's gonna be really interesting. But not having my phone, it will be a really good thing because those last years I've been way too much addicted to my phone. But now I'm just realizing that during 10 days, I'm gonna be cut off from the rest of the world. And it's a strange feeling because I don't even remember a day in my life without my phone. No posting, no reels, no editing YouTube video. I'm not gonna be able to film this experience. I think it's gonna be also very frustrating sometimes because every time I live something like this, I used to film it, I want to make a video about it. And at that time, I will not be able to do it. I just gonna enjoy fully the experience. Which is good, which is really good. I think, stressing too much about that. I'm gonna finish to pack and I'm gonna take a breakfast. I think I want some pancake. And after I'm gonna go. So, yeah, wish me good luck.
Nestled in the foothill of the Himalaya, McLeod is more than just a mountain town. It's the home of the Tibetan government in exile. A place where monks walk the streets, prayer flags dance with the wind, and the sound of spinning prayer wheels echoes through the alleys. What drew me here wasn't just the landscape, but the energy. There's a spiritual presence you can feel in the air. And what a better way to experience this unique Tibetan culture than by immersing myself in a silent retreat in a Buddhist meditation center tucked in a forest.
Here we are going to the center, and I guess I will see you in 10 days. Wow. Hello guys, I'm back to reality after 10 days. Actually, I got out of the center yesterday. I just needed a little time to process, so I didn't thought about filming right away. But then I came back this morning to the center, just here, because every morning they do meditations course for 1 hour, which is nice. And I have still 2 more days here in McLeod in Dharamshala. So I'm gonna do 2 more mornings of meditation because actually it was really good. I have so much things to tell you about this retreat. It was actually really amazing, really mind-changing. I'm just gonna walk a bit now in the mountain in a beautiful path that we went during the retreat. It's called the Stupa Walk. I'm gonna take you there. When I went there the first time, I didn't have my phone or my camera, so I couldn't film. So I'm gonna take you there right now and I'm gonna explain you everything about this beautiful retreat.
This forest holds a unique magic. Surrounded by pine trees and fluttering prayer flags, there's a stillness here that goes beyond silence. But what truly makes it special is that meditators seeking deeper state of practice choose to live here. in those woods, isolated for months and sometimes even years. They are chasing something far beyond peace, enlightenment. From a distance, you can see the simple huts they built, blending humbly into the natural surroundings. My 10 days retreat is nothing compared to that, but maybe it's a small taste, a doorway into something ancient and powerful. I didn't come here to become a monk or even a Buddhist. I came to learn about a culture rooted in compassion, and maybe to learn a bit more about myself too.
So I found a very nice spot here. It's a very calm and quiet area. I love it. You really feel super peaceful here. So for resume a little bit, it was a 10 days meditation retreat, which means that obviously we learn a lot about meditations, but not only, we also learn about philosophy of Buddhism. And also, of course, it was a silent retreat. So 10 days in complete silence. And that's actually the main subject now, because most of the question I got, it's how was it to stay 10 days in full silence? Actually, it was not really full silence, because during the 5 first days, every day we have 1 hour, only 1 hour, or we could talk. There were discussions group, or we could talk only about the subject we learned in a course. It was at first something very strange, to be honest. The first day, it was feeling that everyone was mad at each other. You eat with people in full silence, you cross paths of people, you just smile, you don't talk, you wake up in silence, you eat in silence, you go to sleep in silence, go to toilet in silence, you shower in silence. It's a very interesting thing, because usually in a daily life we feel a kind of forced to talk with people just to show themselves that we are friendly, you know. When you sit with someone and you eat together, you feel kind of forced to talk with these people, even though you don't know these people. But as soon as the second day arrived, I really feel the benefits of it. You see, in normal society, most of people are afraid of silence. Most of people don't know how to react with silence. We are surrounded by noise all the time. We feel the need to talk all the time. I know some people, for example, they have to have the TV turned on all days, even though they don't watch it. It's just to do some noise or listen music or something. But full silence is something that a lot of people are scared of. Why? Because actually when you are in full silence and without distractions as well, because if you are in silence but you spend your time on your phone, there is no point to be in silence, to be honest. But when you don't have any distractions, no social contact, no phone, no TV, silence, it gives you the opportunity to dive into your thoughts, to dive into yourself, to think. A lot of people are scared about it because a lot of things happen inside their head, or maybe people are not very comfortable with themselves. This is something very important, to be comfortable with yourself. Be used to your own presence, and this is what silence taught you. It's also very restful, to be honest. So what's happened there? I was spending most of my time walking around the temple, walking around the forest, sitting on the bench, or sometimes watching monkey play, because there was a lot of monkey around the center. Thinking about the things we learn in a course and trying to apply in my own life. It was a kind of meditation in its own, and it was very interesting. I figured a lot of things about my life, about myself. But it's something very powerful in your life if you get to be comfortable with silence, you know. You get to be more happy with yourself. You get to know yourself, actually. You know, in life, everything else constantly changing. You may lose friends, you may lose your lover, but something you really never lose is yourself. You spend your whole life, you are stuck with yourself. So it's better to be comfortable and appreciate your own company, trust me. And that's something you learn with silence and with loneliness as well. As you know, I'm a solo traveler since many years. Even though I meet always people, I'm mostly with myself. So I learned to interact with myself. I learned to go on a restaurant by my own, to go on a hike by my own. I don't mind if there is no people with me. I don't mind to be in silence. And that's something powerful, trust me. I think being a retreat for that, it would be the more fast and effective way, because they take out my phone. And as you saw, I was very stressed about the beginning because I spend my life on my phone. Really, I'm addicted to it. Way less after this retreat, but still. And it stressed me a lot. It brings me a lot of anxiety. And so when you don't have this, all of a sudden, you feel so released. This is crazy. The only things I had to do during 10 days is do what people tell me to do. Do these meditations. Listen this course. Try to apply in your life. Think. No worry about the external world. Even though now you know it's really complicated, there's war everywhere. So no worry about that. No worry about your phone, about social media, about what other people think. Only focus on yourself. And this is so good, really. A friend of mine told me, but Sevan, I'm an overthinker. I'm really afraid to do something like that because if I just me with my thoughts, I'm gonna get crazy. And actually, I think it's depends on what kind of retreat you do. Probably if you stay with yourself alone without distractions all day, just in your thought, maybe you're gonna get kind of crazy. But if you do this kind of retreat when you are guided, you have a teacher who guides you, your mind try to focus on those teachings and you get a sort of peace just focusing on yourself. And as I say, without distractions, you feel released. I didn't have to worry about anything. All my anxiety, all my stress during 10 days were gone. Also, you are in this very peaceful environment with monks and other students, forest, monkey, butterfly flying. And it's also an experience from its own to be immersed in the Tibetan monk life, which is quite inspiring, to be honest. You can maybe not believe in enlightenment. Doesn't matter actually what you believe. Everyone is welcome in this kind of retreat and to learn about Buddhism. It's not just a religion, it's also a philosophy. And a big part of Buddhism is really connected to reality. And most of the things you learn, you can apply to your daily life without being Buddhist. In this course, they were Jew, they were Muslim, they were Christian, and they were Buddhist as well, and atheist. A teacher used to say, listen, you are here, you have decided to do this course, to grow on yourself. So just use this time to listen. And if there is something that doesn't make sense to you, just let it aside. And if you find something that makes sense to you, focus on that. And maybe after, try to apply in your daily life. So what are those teachings exactly? And I'll tell you a bit more about that. Hello. So let's be clear, I didn't come here in Dharamshala doing this retreat to become a monk. I just wanted to learn about Buddhism as I always want to learn about different culture. I actually did the same for every religion and every philosophy and every cultures. I think you can get a little bit from everything and from everyone. So I mostly wanted to work on my mind, and this is what you do in this retreat. I'm not gonna go into details, but mostly what you learn in Buddhist philosophy is the questions of happiness, how to be happy in your life. You're gonna get to learn about how to deal with your emotions to reach this happiness. To deal with negative emotions, for example, in Buddhism, they consider that the three poisons of mind is ignorance, craving, and anger. And to focus on your positive emotions like wisdom, compassion, which are the basis of quality, will bring other quality like patience, generosity, kindness, and all of those things that make you a better human. So that's what we do in this course, actually. I think it's still something very interesting to do in a lifetime. But of course, if it doesn't make sense to you, just take this video as another crazy story. As I say, I'm just here to experiment life and learn as much as I can from it. And always try to become a better human. Having this goal, it's something wonderful in your life.
What inspired me the most wasn't just the teachings, but the people behind them. Tibetan cultures are something rare, a deep connections between inner peace and happiness. Maybe that's why learning from them feels so meaningful, because their wisdom doesn't come from books, it comes from lived experience. And during the course, I had the chance to witness something very special. A prayer sessions led by His Holiness the Dalai Lama himself. This experience was so amazing, and even from a distance, his presence was magnetic. A man who has faced exile, loss, and yet continued to radiate compassion. He is more than a spiritual leader. He is a living example of the value he teaches.
So what's your daily life look like in this kind of retreat? So first of all, I was sleeping in a dorm of 16 people just located above the main temple where we usually had all our course. And we woke up at 6 a.m. And you probably wonder, how did you wake up? You don't have phone, I don't have watch, so you basically don't know what time is it. So there was a person who was actually one of the students designated to do this job who ring a gong 3 times every morning, a bit everywhere around the temple, so everyone can hear it. So we had a morning tea at this time, and at 6:45 we went to our first lesson of meditation of the day, which was approximately 45 minutes, and then after we had a breakfast, and then we start a first course of Introduction to Buddhism. So we had this course with a break until 11:30 when we had a lunch. I had to say the food there was really amazing. To be honest, really amazing. And then we had a 2 hours break, so at 2 p.m. we came back on a second course, and until I don't really remember what time because I kind of lost the notions of time. But after that we finished by 2 courses of 1 hour each of meditation still. And usually at the morning meditation we used to practice more about relaxations, so you are focusing on your breath and nothing else, to try to release your thoughts and deal with it. It was actually very difficult to me. I struggle a lot with meditations. The first 2 days I was falling asleep all the time. So I usually wake up with a morning coffee, otherwise it's very hard to me to wake up. But there was tea, English tea. So I drank a lot of tea, 1 at every break, probably 7 or 8 days, to be way too much. But then another problem arises. So I was too much wake up, so I tried to focus on my breath, and there were all those thoughts were coming into my mind all the time. I had to let it go, focus again, then another one arise, and let it go, focus again. Basically it was that. Even though after 5 or 6 days I get to relax a little bit more, it was still very, very complicated. And the other meditation we did, it was more about analytic meditation. So again, I'm not gonna go through details, but usually you reflect something you learn on the course and you practice in the meditation. So let's say you meditate, you relax, and you try to focus on anger, for example. But some of them are really powerful. There is other meditations about forgiveness, for example, or they teach you how to forgive people who have harmed you in your past, so then you can release your anger. And so then after the course is finished, you have a dinner. I used to take my shower this time, which is a bucket shower. You have to be ready to live very simply if you do this kind of retreats. But this is also the point, to not get into luxury stuff so you don't get distracted by it. I used to read a lot as well after the course. There were a library, a beautiful library, so you don't really have nothing to do. You have to think about the course, you can read books about Buddhism, you can watch monkey. We actually do that a lot, yeah. Those monkey were crazy. And it was actually very funny because when we were eating during lunch or dinner, there were people who were employed by the center who were like the police monkey. We were eating outside on table with bread and delicious meal, and the monkey, they tried to get it. It was actually very funny, especially when you are in silence, you cannot say anything, so you cannot scream. And the monkey jump into your table, take your bread, and leaving a full mess everywhere. So this was this police monkey who are in charge to afraid the monkey so they can go and we can eat in peace. But it not always work. As well, when you do this retreat, you have to follow some rules, which is not very restrictive, to be honest. It's actually the basis of life. So the first rule is not killing. You may think, obviously, Sevan, we're not gonna get into a retreat and start to kill everyone. It will be very awkward. But when I say not killing, it's not killing any living beings. So even if you have a mosquito in your room, you don't kill it. They teach you something to think about it, and I found it very beautiful and very funny in the same times. Our teacher said, when you see living beings, whenever it's another person or an animal, just imagine that it have been your mother in the past. Because Buddhists believe a lot in reincarnations. So for them it makes sense. For other person, not too much. But I understand the point. The point is to generate a feeling of compassion inside you. It was actually a bit weird to imagine the mosquito to being my mother. Or as well imagining a stranger. Like, I was trying this method. I was watching other students. I was like, it's have been my mother in the past. It was really strange. Really strange. I kind of changed a little bit this method to make my own. And I try to imagine, mostly work with people. To imagine everyone mostly as my brother and sister. It worked very well. Try it, really. Try to imagine everyone, literally everyone, even your worst enemy, as your brother or sister. So this was a very interesting experience, and what I love about that is that he got me the time and a lot of time to work to myself. And that's something you don't get to have in your daily life usually, because you are busy with a million of stuff, with work, your family, the society, everything, and then you watch the news and there is war, there is death. So all those things bring you anxiety a little bit up and your stress, and you don't have time to really focus on yourself and work on yourself. And for me, that's the main point of doing a retreat, is to focusing on yourself. And in this teaching, they help you a lot to doing that. They bring the good questions to answer to yourself, and that's helped you to progress way more faster. I especially like the teaching that all suffering that you experience in life come within, with your experience in life. And when you have this kind of point of view, it's give you the opportunity then to work on yourself, because you then understand that your happiness in life doesn't depend of external conditions, it depends of you, only you and within. Your happiness is within, is how you react with reality. You can see that around the world, no? A lot of people are rich, they have everything, but they are not happy. And a lot of people have nothing. They are in a very poor conditions and I believe terrible things. And still they smile and they are happy. That's the proof that happiness is inside of you.
This retreat reminds me of something simple but easy to forget. The mind is our greatest tool. It shapes the way we see reality, the way we experience life. We often chase happiness in things, in people or in success. But maybe real happiness is just a question of perspective. When we stop clinging, when we let go of anger, fear and expectations, what's left is clarity. And with clarity comes compassion. And like Dumbledore once said, happiness can be found even in the darkest of time, if one only remembers to turn on the light.
So that's it, that's all I wanted to say about this 10 meditations course. It was really inspiring to me. If it's again something of interest to you, I will give you way more details in the description. And you can also go to the link I give to you if doing a retreat is something that interests to you. And you can check if there is a Tibetan center near to your place, or if you want to travel in India, in this beautiful place, you are more than welcome. I mean, it's not my country, but still, I think Indians agree with me. Everyone is really welcome in India, actually. That's a beautiful country, and look at the surrounding. That's beautiful. So that retreat might not be for everyone, but if you're interested about working a bit of yourself, discovering what there is within, or just trying to be more relaxed in your life and stop be overthinking all the time and try to release a bit your stress or your anxiety, for all those things, then maybe it might be something that will make sense to you. And if you want to do another kind of retreat, which is not linked with Buddhism, you can also check. There is a lot. Everywhere around the world, I think in the world of today, people love to do retreats. And I can understand why. I mean, look at the world. It's kind of overwhelming, no? So sometimes you just want for a few days to just disconnect. Just this. Just for this, it's very good. So guys, I really hope you like this video. Obviously, you can ask me questions and tell me what you think about it in the comment sections. I'm gonna try my best to reply to it. And so I'm gonna catch you in the next adventure. I'm gonna be in Nepal. I'm gonna take you with me and it's gonna be amazing. So guys, I'll catch you in this next adventure. And now I have to find my way back. I've been way too far in the forest. I'm lost. This is okay. We are never lost in life. Never lost. Always find your track back. Even though it's not here, it's there.